I'm Chelsea Fruger, I'm 30 years of age and I've been in the beauty industry for the last 15 years. My qualifications consist of the following: level 1, 2 and 3, which was originally my initial entry to my aesthetics. Got a little bit sidetracked and done a few short courses, starting off with lashing. Since I've done the lashing, I've stuck with the lashing. I found my passion and I love it. I went on to do my anatomy and physiology and my phlebotomy, blood taking, to do the foundation for this. But my bag is lashing. I lash all day, every day. Got 15 years experience within the industry and gained over the last 3 years the injectables. So we have kind of still stuck with the lash game. A few housekeeping rules before we start our course. Can I move that down a little bit? I don't know how to do it because my mouse is just on the bottom here.
Oh, yes. You can do that.
Okay, thank you. Before we start, shall we go around the room and you can introduce yourselves and yeah, that's nice. Okay, starting this way around this time.
Hi, my name is Dwi. I'm a beautician and esthetician.
Darren Hart, Health and Safety Manager from Essex.
Yep, my name's Asma and I'm from Dorking. And
my name's Saika and I'm in the security industry. I live in Bolton.
My name's Andy, I'm a railway worker and I'm from Dagenham.
Okay, right, now we've all introduced ourselves. Let's get learning. Right, so today we are going to be learning how to apply eyelashes, as you can see, and our dummy heads. So our key ingredient to lashing is isolation. You want to keep your clients nice and comfortable. You don't want no sticky lashes and you don't want no complaints where they're going to be losing their own natural lashes. Okay, so I will show you a live demonstration before we start. Sorry. Right, okay. So before we start that, we've got keywords. Don't want you to take all of them in. You'll learn along the way like I did. But giving you some pointers. Isolation, right at the top. Always make sure your isolation is 100%. Layering, you can use that technique by using, when you're doing lashes, you can use that technique. If your client hasn't got a lot of lashes, you can then lift those lashes up and you'll see all little new lashes growing within your lash cycles. 14 days of one cycle, so that's when your client will always come back. Any questions? No? Okay, marking out, which is mapping. We've covered that in our previous class. So mapping is just a guide to know what you're doing. So it's the position is obviously different from the last one. But now I've only got and the difference between lashes, we've got Russian, we've got classic, we've got hybrid, we've got mega volumes. Today we are just concentrating on classics. So this is just an example. I don't want you to be overloaded today, but you will be processing most of these points throughout your course on your next few days. Sorry about this.
So it's a bit complicated.
Yes, a little bit simpler. This will zoom out. Just this one. Okay, so zoom out.
Okay.
So I can get the full.
Yeah.
So starting off, introducing you again to the tools that we're going to be using today. So number one, we have our isolation tweezer. Our isolation tweezer It goes in with the natural lash, so we go in closed, and then when we relax, when we find our lash, we open and we just rest, okay? With our pick-up tweezer. So normally, everybody lash is different. They can either have a tray on their bed with their client of your classic lash, which come in these strips. I like to work off the back of my hands. Only so I'm close, I'm quite quick. Timing is key. And instead of going backwards and forwards to our journeys, we get stuff done quicker when we get used to it. So picking up, showing you, I can't get you zoom close enough to try and show you, but with a classic lash, it's just one single lash. So we grab one single lash and we peel back towards at an angle. So we have, as you can see, one single lash. It looks tiny, but when there is a full set, they look really elegant and a lot more natural compared to the other sets that you have a choice of.
So how are they attaching on you?
So we're going to use a small bit of adhesive,
Yep.
as I'm going to show you in our live demonstration. I'll show you. So these are our strip lashes, these are our classics. So that's what we need before we start. We've got our tools, adhesive. So before we use our adhesive, always activate it, give it a good shake, okay? So we have a new dot, say every 20 minutes, after it's had some air time, sort of like hairdressing outside, after it's had some air time, it stops activating. Okay, so we always have a new dot. Again, I like to keep my dot next to my strip that I'm picking up. Okay. Small dot, as you can see, just a small amount, and this lasts 4 to 6 weeks. Keeping it nice and airtight and kept cool and dry. Okay, so we're going to go over to our live demo with our dummy now. So I don't know whether you all want to gather round, only because it would be a little bit disappointing from that far away. I'll show you what I want you to do. Right, so pretending that this is our client's, a real client, this is her natural lash line. So some clients have overhang hoods. Okay, this is where it can get technical. Little tips and tricks for all of us. We can use our tape on a normal client. She'd have an overhang. Some don't have an overhang. I do. So I asked to use a little bit of tape. So we stick it on our eyelids. Sorry, I can't show you on a normal person, on a client, and we lift. So that acts like a little facelift. Okay. So our eye line then becomes. It does this effect, becomes towards us, so it points upwards, so it comes towards us, okay? So you can see that lash line exactly like that. So now all we're going to do is go in with our isolation tweezer and we're going to separate one lash, okay? So we're going to go in close, and then when we find our lash, we're going to open and relax. I found my lash and I'm opening and I'm relaxing. It is a little bit harder on obviously an unnatural dummy, so can you see as I'm...
Okay, it looks awful.
It is tedious, but obviously
No.
if you have a obviously passion for it, then you'd love
Very
it.
steady hand.
Yes, yes. So you find your lash, you keep it close. When you do find your lash, you let it relax and you open. And I tend to rest the palm of my hand on my client's forehead. Okay? So once you've found your lash, you then want to go in with your adhesive, have enough tip on the ends of your lash, yeah?
Yep.
So you've got enough to swipe. So we're not going to dunk, alright? We're going to go pull through the top and pull it through instead of, I call it dairy dunking. You don't want to do that because you'll get glue on your tweezer and you'll forever be cleaning your tweezer off. So I don't know whether...
You've got good eyes, haven't you?
Yes, I've been doing it for so long. As you can you see that little bulb of glue?
Yep.
Right, so we're gonna, on your client's lash line, we're gonna keep 2 millimeters away from the skin. Only so when she blinks, it doesn't feel like a needle point looking over the eye continuously for the next 2 weeks until she's in. So we're going to go in, we're going to isolate, we're going to find our lash, and we're going to swipe, lay technique, okay? So we're going to find our lash, I find my lash, I'm going to swipe, and then I'm going to lay. Just so that bulb is a little bit away from down the lash, and we've got a little bit more to sit with. Okay? It is very tedious, but if you want to do it, obviously, clients that do.
So how long will it take each one?
Your first set will always be your longest. 3 hours. So you find...
Both ways?
Right, so I like to, and I always tell my students this, if you do one full eye and your client gets a call and she's really got to take this call, she's got to run out with one full eye done. Yeah, in an emergency. So I like to do 1, 1, 1, 1. Just so if there was an emergency and she has got to leave, she isn't walking out with a half a job. She's walking out with an even job, and it's graduated all the way through. Okay? Mapping, I'll show you more in the next lesson. Rather with the Russians, it's a little bit more technical. It's a different method, but with the classic, it's quite straightforward.
Classic takes how long?
Classic can take up to 2 to 3 hours. It depends on you. So some people get their technique like that. It depends on the tools. Always have good tools, invest in good tools.
Do you know, I did this about 5 years ago, did the whole lash course, everything, and it was really fun, I must say.
Yeah.
And it was, I did a really good set. But after that, what happened was I just got so busy with working in the recruitment side that I kind of just let this go. But I did enjoy it. The only thing is when I did it on, with my cousins I was practicing on, it was good, but it took longer.
Yeah.
So it was maybe the first set was like 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 maybe, and I just kind of got a bit scared that I wouldn't be able to do it quicker because then I could do it in 1.5 hours.
And having enough time to put into it to get it shorter. Yeah.
So I think that's where I saw the trap came and I fell and I didn't continue with it. But I've still got all the equipment, everything. Maybe at some point I might go back to it. But it's really interesting how you told me. It's really reminded me of that. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is very, I find some people either love it and they pick their technique up. I will show you everything I've learned over my last 15 years into your course. It took me 15 years to find out all my tricks. And that's something that I wanted to give back personally, to do it in the few days that we're training over.
And do people do refreshers as well tonight?
Yeah, so I like to do masters. So masters is a little bit more advanced, but they've got their basics, which is the hardest bit. So once you've got your technique, all your other little bits, it's an add-on. So yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, do you just want to have a little go of it? Everyone's done with it.
I don't like all the basics to do that, mate.
It's been a good model for that.
Do you want to have a go? So literally, all you have to do, you don't have to do it, it is at the end of the day. So
you could
picking up, swiping, and then finding a lash. So there's all like little key tricks.
I might have to go up to the end.
So it's literally yeah, I like to use the fine classic. Some people use like a really thick classic. So obviously you've got your Russians. I like carpets, so I have a little natural and Russian so it's like a little bit. I know what to do. Yeah, I don't like too much. Are you right?
Is this to separate the lash?
Oh, you'll have that on your bed, right? Right, okay. So you'll probably pick up from this side. So we'll be able to install this way. Pick up from that side and
Ain't gonna lie, I'm glad I'm a man.
I like to train on him.
If I could sit 3 hours getting eyelashes and all that.
You can swipe so you get a little bulb away.
You need patience to do that. Serious patience.
So that's the thing. As soon as any glue touches your tweezers, it's like. can, because, yeah, I know lefties always peel towards their shoulder.
Absolutely, yeah, I think the pressure is good for people sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And it's just patience. Like,
A lot of patience.
So if you're left-handed, is it more difficult or?
I find left-handers are more creative.
I'm generally more.
Yeah, I do find them more creative and they're a little bit more arty. Than my little girl, she's left hand, and since the baby she's got her dollies and she's always got her brushes, and I know, yeah, she definitely wants to do what mummy's doing, but I can.
So can I ask, typically, how many people do you try and do in a day?
I like to do one-to-one classes, only because I do find if my time is shared between a class, you get less of me, and I want you to get it. So particularly, I personally like to do one-to-one, so it's more intimate and you get more of my time rather than sharing it.
More personal.
Yes.
So if you've got clients, how many clients would you aim?
In a day.
I can work from probably about 8 in the morning to about 10 at night.
Oh, really? How often do you tend to do that?
I like to do it about 3 days a week.
Really?
Yes,
How much
and
is
then I have
what is the price?
45 to 60. And I can get, you can about an hour and a half. You can get down to about an hour and a half, an hour each field.
Chelsea, typically, how many would you do, in 3 days, how many would you tend to do each day?
It probably varies between probably 5 and about 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've really got to be on your game, haven't you? Really, like,
Yeah, so time in this game is where your money's at. And obviously, good products, good tools, it makes your life so much easier, so you can then enjoy what you do. And then you find your passion because you're picking up. If that makes sense. I've been through loads of tweezers and spent loads of money on things that haven't worked for me. But when you find that bit, you get the best out of yourself.
so do you have to, so you're using like sort of adhesive of some sort. So do you have to sort of get consent forms like people have specific allergies?
So on a consultation card that we would have done previous to this lesson, you'd 24 to 48 hours, you'd always patch test them. So I always say, use a micro stick, little bit of glue, either ask them to come to the salon, depending where you're based, and just put a slight dot behind their ear and just get them to consent that I'll give you a patch test. If you irritate, skin's burning, or you feel irritable, then that's not something that you can have done because it's right in your eyes covered.
Because it's too late. Once you start putting around that part, to get a reaction in that part of your body, it'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Some people can get such a bad eye infection and get tuberculosis, anything.
I had it myself swollen.
Are you sensitive to the glue? Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It is. I had a client, I was lashing her for years, and all of a sudden she started, I've used the same glue, never changed my brand or anything like that, and she swelled up on me. She's like, Chels, she swelled up.
What does it mean?
And
She went there.
yeah. So,
As you were doing it.
not as I was doing it, she went home, she went, oh, what's the matter? I said, come back, I double checked, like, making sure nothing's irritating her, nothing's touching her skin. And then she went to a pharmacy, I said, you're having an allergic reaction. I said, your body changes every so many years. I think it's 5 to 7 years. And I've been lashing her so long. I don't need to patch her stuff, it's just her body that's changing. They say the more you have it done, the more reluctant you are to the glue. It's crazy how it works, but
Yeah. So do you have to take, curious, do you have to take, I mean, public liability insurance, do you have to things like that?
yes, you have to cover. So say if you're mobile and your client's got cream carpets and this glue goes over, or you get that tiny little dot, there's no getting it out. You'd have to replace the whole carpet. And if someone wanted to, say for instance, my friends, I've done a patch test on her, and she swelled up, she could still say to me, oh, well, you didn't patch test me this time, because she was an ongoing client. She could have then used my insurance and said, you can,
Yeah, because the part of
my
the body
body's changed and I
you're
need you to
dealing
pay
with
for
there.
my medicals. But that's what we cover ourselves for. And I'd always offer, if you need something from me, that's what I pay for. That's part of my premium, you're covered.
Because it's a really sensitive part of the body and the eyes. You know,
Yes.
you can't get
Especially
on.
if you get that tuberculosis, if that infection doesn't clear
No
up, you can
way.
lose your eyesight. Yeah.
Oh, we're so blessed, man.
What?
We're so blessed, us, man.
Right.
Water and
Moving
soap.
on. Okay, conclusion. So does anyone have any more questions? I know obviously it's quite in-depth and it can be overwhelming to just listen to one point of that set, but does anybody have any more questions for me? No? Okay, right, conclusion. So I've shown you how to apply a classic set of lashes. We have covered the basics of isolation application to the natural lash, and I've shown you and explained some keywords that we use in the industry that you might use along your way on your journey, your lash journey. After completing today's lesson, you have the ability to confidently apply a classic set of lashes and be familiar with the different sizes and ranges to create what your client desires. So obviously there is a large range of all new, they're coming out weekly, all different lashes, different styles, fluffy ones, thick ones, you name it, they're on the shelves ready for you to order. So getting creative with it, you can use all different sizes. Say if your client wanted a strip lash look, which is very thick and long and spiky. So you'd order different lashes, it won't just come in one box, you'd have to order a different range of them. But we can then order different sizes, curls and thickness down the line.
So, one last question. So how do you typically get your work?
Social media. Social media is my main advertisement.
It's your Instagram.
Yeah. That brief prescription. So a natural lash cycle is 10 to 14 days. So that's when I see my clients. So comparing to aesthetics, I'll see them every 6 to 8 months. Whereas my lash clients, I'll see them every 10 to 14 days.
So you almost have to generate a regular sort of going income.
Because I find once you have one set of lashes, you always come back.
Yeah, no, you'll be happy with it.
Even me, myself, I'll take them off and I'm having a break this week. Within the second day, I'm someone like, my lash artist, can you fit me in please, kind of like this. It does, it gets addictive. Okay. I'll also provide you with a copy of tips and tricks for you to take home, and on that sheet, because all of our students working with my suppliers, you're going to receive a 15% off for training with us.